All right. We're going to just see if this pops up. Just waiting. Hopefully. And cool. We are here. And hi, everyone. Great to see you. Glad you're here. Today we are going to be running through Content Superpower, charging yourself Content Superpower. So if you're here with us, so happy about that you're with us. In fact, I should be pushing over to my other YouTube channel. I just realized. So, but hey, we're here and we're gonna hang out. See you. Glad you're here. I'm gonna kill the sound over there, and I'm just waiting for um my live video to pop up on Instagram. Um, hopefully it pops up. We had this problem last time, so we're just going to see what's going on. Okay, there was like a delay, so there's just a little bit of a delay. Welcome if you're just joining us. Let me know where you are from. Send me your location, and we're just going to hang out for a couple of minutes. Bringing in my social media manager, who is named Jessie Bravo. She's going to be hanging out with us while we're going through some of the really cool content systems that we've set up for podcasting, YouTube, social media, email, and yeah, super fired up that you guys are here. So keep the comments coming. Let me know where you're from, and I'd love to see you. And while we're waiting, we're just gonna check it out. Check my channels here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you here. And yay. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out for about 10 minutes. This conversation before we get started is really developed for the reason of my story of owning a marketing agency for over 20 years and trying to dial in my content with my clients. And every client that we brought on was like a disaster with where their content was living and what they needed to get to in order to scale. So whether they were doing a podcast, whether they're heavy in YouTube, or they're just doing social media, or they're into email, there definitely was like a disconnect with every project management system and how they were like creating content. And now with AI, AI has this like, hey, you can get things done faster, but if your back end isn't ready to receive it in the back end, then it just makes it that much harder. Now, I'm not a big fan of creating content with AI that doesn't feel humanized. So it feels like it needs to be your voice, your brand. And I also feel like a lot of the auto-created content out there, it really separates us, and us as humans can't really feel that energy through the content. So it doesn't make us either want to connect or connect with your brand or actually buy your thing. So that's really how this whole system came to be. That's my back end of kind of managing clients, building them up, helping them like scale with their own project management systems, all the way down into working now with AI and using AI integrated into content creation, but also making sure your backend systems are like set up to receive that. And the movement is so quickly on all these platforms with AI. It is very hard to catch up or stay on top of it because things are moving at such a fast pace. It's like when you hit refresh on any of your project management software or tool that you're using, a new AI thing like pops up. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Super fired up that you're here. I can't see you on my Instagram, so I'm going to pop on over to my Instagram and see if we've got anybody there. So I am going to see if I can. I might have to go back and forth because I just cannot. So if you're here with me again, hey Michael, I'm from Nigeria. Awesome. Love what you do. That's cool. Michael, what do you do? I just see you popped in on LinkedIn. Awesome. Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to start in like 7 minutes because I want to give people a little bit more time to join. But right now, you have me. If you have any questions, let me know. But that's just how my background got started. You know, when we were managing hundreds of clients and hundreds of pieces of content with security and privacy before AI, it just got crazy. So I definitely understand project management systems and how to scale, whether even you're a graphic designer or you're a video editor and you're like, hey, I have like 10 video clients or 20 video clients and I need to like make sure that I'm organizing the back end. Let's go. Let's talk about that all the way down to like, hey, I have a podcast, but my backend's not really organized. It's really difficult for me to talk about each of my episodes with my team. It's getting lost in Slack or emails. Let's talk because anything that I can show you today can definitely be duplicated in any project management system that's out there, pretty much. Not all of them, but pretty much. There are definitely systems that I have now kind of honed in on that I think are better than others, but I think I've used most of the top tier project management systems out there. So if you are managing your workflow in like ClickUp, Asana, Trello, Monday, HubSpot, um, throw some things out, and I'll let you know what I've used. Airtable is in there. I'm trying to think some of some other ones that I've used that are like similar, but those are kind of like the big Monday, yeah, are the big ones out there. Our whole company actually used to be. We started on, gosh, I want to say Asana years ago, almost like 15 years ago, and then we watched kind of Asana move, and then it was like Trello, and so our company definitely has moved from each project management system. So yeah, okay, give it a couple more minutes and then my project manager and social media manager will be here in like just a few minutes. I want her to join with us. She can give us some ideas too from her side. So if you're joining us as a creator or in social media, you're in good hands because you'll have someone that's relatable that does the same thing as you. Um, yeah, so I'm excited to dive into this. Let me know if you're joining me live here today, where you might be getting stuck. That would really help me in the chat know that so that I can kind of tailor this live session for you. So just drop it in the chat wherever you're joining from. What are you getting stuck on? Or tell me a little bit more about the content that you're creating. So if it's a podcast, is it YouTube, is it email, is it social media? Do you have clients? Just drop it in the chat right now. That would be awesome. And then I can kind of move from there. Okay, I'm gonna wait for some of you to drop that in. So I hope you guys are doing good while you're working on that. And I'm just kind of watching the chat fill up here with your messages. That is great. And yeah, that's awesome. We are getting there. Don't feel shy to post, what you've got going on for yourself because there is no wrong answer. And I have tried so many things and failed at it that I don't even worry about feeling like, hey, I don't want to say anything or I'm not where you're at. Do not feel like I'm not where you're at because I have gone to so many live sessions and you just feel so uncomfortable because you feel like that person knows so much more than you. So definitely do not feel that way with here. This is a very humanized conversation. I'm here with you. I want to help you dial in your content for the next half of this year for Q3, Q4. That's what it's all about. And I certainly don't want to give you anything that is going to be not relatable for what you're doing right now. So if you could please drop in chat right now what you're working on, where you're getting stuck. That way, if I talk about podcasting, you don't have a podcast, I can tailor the conversation more on social media or email or YouTube, what have you. So let me know in the chat. I'm gonna go dark for just a second here, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, we are back. I'm just gonna fix my camera. Awesome. And so, yeah, great. Some of you are talking about, yes, podcast. That's a big one. That's a big one. Or you want to start a podcast. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, podcasting is amazing. My podcast, if you don't know, is called Embers Rising. I would love for you to check it out. You can find it on any of the, wherever you listen to podcasts. Um, but my podcast story, someone just asked my podcast story, just real quickly, I'll share it in like 2 minutes. My podcast story is I was working with a coach at a time who encouraged me to actually start a podcast with a lot of business and life events that I was currently going through. They said, hey, you should start a podcast. And I really didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't really thought about it. To me, starting a podcast was like, oh my gosh, I have to have like the perfect lights, the perfect camera, the perfect background. And I didn't have any of that. And I started in literally my backyard on a sofa with a mic, holding a mic. So if you go back all the way to my first podcast, which I have left up, you will see me sitting there with a mic, and that's on YouTube. So if you want to check that out, that's where I first started. But I had no idea how to manage a team because it's a lot different when you're scaling content for video rather than just audio, and you're pushing out your podcast on audio. So we were doing video, and that became a whole nother beast to like manage and hire a team to edit and then have those conversations and keep it consistent and not get lost. And for me, not to get frustrated with what I needed to have them do for me for my edits and like how to make that workflow. So yeah, podcasting became a really big thing. So I actually have a treat for you all. If you stay with me through this live, if it's about podcasting. So I'm excited that you are here. If you are into podcasting or want to learn more about podcasting, I do have a treat for you. But let's wait one more minute and then I'm going to dive in to this session with you all because we've been hanging out for 9 minutes and I want to see some more of you giving me some comments. I hope that I'm not just on the background of y'all's phone or laptop. I love hanging out with you live. That's like my biggest thing is being here with you live because we can have a conversation where I cannot drive that conversation when it's a one-sided place where I'm posting and I'm seeing DMs or comments. It still feels like not connected. So I really love being here with you live. It's like my favorite thing. So definitely leave a comment here. Let me know. Michael, haven't heard from you yet. If you're still watching, leave me a comment. Love to know what you do. And that would be amazing. And then we're going to dive in. So about 30 more seconds. I'm going to dive in. Platforms that I will be teaching, the things that I can teach today with you can be applied again across any of the main project management tools out there. So if you don't have one or you are using one but you are afraid that this is not the right thing for you, or you just don't have it dialed in, you can learn how to do that today. So super fired up about that. Hey, Jess!
Hey, Wendy.
I have been sitting here live for like 10 minutes and just chatting away with everyone. So we've just been waiting for you. No. We've like actually been waiting to start. And I told everyone like, hey, Jesse's coming on here. So you guys will have someone to relate with. Jesse, can you do me a big favor and
Yeah.
just check my Instagram? To me, it looks dark, but yet I'm seeing on my side it says we're live. So I just want to like double check.
Yeah, let me see.
But it's good to see you. Welcome.
It's good to see you.
We're in live mode now. It's great. I was just telling everyone how much I love being with everyone live because it's such a one-sided feeling when I do a post and we're commenting. I just don't get this interaction, and this is the chance for you all to just share with me like where you're stuck, what you're struggling with in content. And again, I'll just share my backstory super quickly in 1 minute. If you're just now joining us and you're just now seeing this, you're like, hey, tell me your backstory. So, and Jesse, let me know if you see that on Instagram.
I don't. It
Oh
doesn't show up live.
my gosh. Okay. Um, that's okay. We'll go with that. We'll repost it out there. So quickly, my background is I had a client services full service marketing agency with hundreds of clients. And over the last 20 years, we have managed every type of client underneath the sun, from corporate to boutique, to influencer to small business. And all of those clients would bring us all types of content. And all those contents were living in all types of different project management systems or no project management systems at all. So having to go through years and years of that and then refine my own process and systems for them and for myself, we have now dialed in with my fantastic project manager here and social media manager, Jesse Bravo. We have dialed in together some systems that we continually to make better when we're talking about scaling content. It is really frustrating when you, so that's really my background, and that's how this was born in like a snapshot. And then working with teams and virtual teams, like how do you actually make this work? Because, if you signed up to hang out with me or you RSVP'd, one of the big things I said in there is, AI is running at a really fast pace and you can create tons of content using AI, but if your backend isn't set up to like receive that, you're still kind of wasting time. And we don't want to get into the space where we're using AI so much that now we've dehumanized our conversation out there with the content. So it's like, yes, you can create the content, is amazing, but it also stops us thinking through things less. And we really need to like continue thinking through the process before we're actually putting the content together and actually putting it out there. So today is why I wanted you guys to comment while we were waiting for Jesse and everyone just to start here at the time frame, is I wanted to know more about where you're stuck. And I haven't received a whole lot of messages here, so I'm just going to dive in and just share with you. We'll do an overview of like podcasting. We'll do an overview of how we manage like our YouTube shorts from a podcast side. We'll do an overview of social media and how we work through that. And then there is a couple little definitely secret spaces in there, some tools that we use that really take this to next level. So let's dive into podcasting, Jess, because I think, and I know you've heard this 1,000 times, you're familiar with our process. When I first started my podcast, literally I started on the sofa with holding a mic, and you can check out that video on YouTube, and that was it. And I thought that that was in the bag, we're good to go. I didn't think through like how to manage this with a team, or how to actually scale pieces of this content once the video portions were broken down. It was like very scary. In fact, I remember, Jesse, when I brought you on, we kind of talked about podcasting, but I think that you were a bit shy as well, like managing this as I was. I was like, ooh, I'm not really sure how to scale this. At the same time, managing like the YouTube channel, because there's like a whole second level, next level of management on a lot of this. So, let me dive into this screen share because I think this is the best way for us to see it. And again, it doesn't matter what you're using. You can apply the system to any of these tools. I had said that before, whether you're in ClickUp or Asana or one of the other top tier project management systems. I'm using Monday, so we'll go there first, but then I'm also using Airtable, and we'll go there. And if you haven't heard of those, or you are, you'll see those here in a minute of why I love those two tools. So I'm just gonna screen share, Jess, my current desktop here. Cool. Can you see this, everyone? Thumbs up. Okay, awesome. So we're just going to run through this real quickly. The podcast hub, this must be so boring for Jesse. Jesse has sat through so many of these sessions, but I'm going to pick out Jesse because Jesse manages this, and we continue to refine this, and her input is super valuable. And the reason is because if you're an owner or business owner and you're showing up and you think you have this in the bag because you've got your stuff organized and you're solid and you're just sending this out to the team, the problem is that you probably not having a big heart for the receiver. And the receiver is the one who does all the hard work, the social media manager, the project manager that's doing the heavy lifting for you. And if they're not happy, then you literally can't be happy because they're not getting the work done, or they're having to work harder. And so if you're starting to see things that aren't getting moved quick enough, or you see that they're adding things, this is how you can refine the process better. And this is how Jesse and I have worked together, where she can add some things and I say, oh, okay, I've seen Jesse do this like 10 times repeatedly. And it's almost like signals my brain, we need to make this a process. This is like, how can we automate this? How can we make this faster? So I will be talking to Jesse, but I want to start in Monday. I have a workspace in Monday called Podcast Hub. And it's just where I create the podcast, where we actually, Jess, we don't even do the scheduling anymore here. I was like, we used to do scheduling through here, but we don't even schedule in here. Jesse, right now, how are you scheduling the podcast? Are you just
Great.
through Airtable?
Yep,
Yeah.
here
Okay.
too.
That's what I thought. So I'll show them the reason why we moved out of Monday because I remember this did not suffice what we wanted to scale. It was getting really confusing with the group. So this is actually a great like learning lesson for us. But let's just jump into planning. So in Monday or in Asana or ClickUp, you have like workspaces. This is just a board called Podcast Hub. In here, I have a folder called Season 3, and this one is called Planning. Planning. So this is where I plan Season 3 episodes, and you can see this is laid out very simply, just the episode, the link, the shoot date, the publish date, and what the status is. Um, and so on. So this is just super simple board where everybody's attached to it, including Jessie, where she can come in and like look at comments, she can look at the doc, anything that's here as far as dates go. This is pretty locked in and true. I don't think much changes in the planning board. We just keep it super simple. We'll go over scheduling here in a minute. Podcast shoutouts is unique to us, so it's unique to our podcast. We like to do shoutouts on some of our episodes. So Jesse has a board in here that we just have a folder in here from Canva, and I'll show this off. If you also do shout outs, we like to post things like this so that Jesse will pop in like a snapshot of a current post, and then we'll do some shout outs here, and they're just fantastic. This is so great. If you are a podcaster, please do shout outs for your audience because, it means a lot to them. But this has been really helpful for us just to go through and have this process as an addition to our podcast. So it's a whole lesson in itself. Scheduling has been a little interesting. We kind of started doing this, and I'll just close this up so it these are groups. So every group is an episode. The problem is this, that it became not scalable because things were hidden in folders within folders within folders and within folders and comment within comment. And that becomes like an unbearable mess when you're launching one every week. So you imagine how many weeks are in a year. Now you're looking at all those weeks in a year and trying to manage all that. And you're managing it far weeks later. So it's not like it's this week, it's like 8 weeks later, you're still getting your video shorts out. So it's hard for a project manager, a social media manager to come back in here and be like, I'm lost. I really don't know where we're at. So this is what you can do this. And this is how we started, where we had statuses of everything, shout out, social, Spotify, YouTube, and then all the shorts. And then we were like checking the box, like, did it get scheduled? Is it ready for release? And we would go through, it was like really down granular in here. But what we have found, and thanks for the reminder, Jess, is that it just became not scalable for us. It was a great place to hold assets, but we're like, how can we make this better? I'm going to show you that next because that was a huge, massive move. One other thing on podcasts regarding systems for podcasts is your guest. When you have a guest. Now, we used to have in our essentials board, we would have a guest management board. And these were people that are booked guests, potential guests that we were bringing on, reoccurring guests, and we would label them here, which we still can use. But there's another place when we know that there's a guest coming in and we've like booked them, then we actually use in Monday a form. And the form is like our collection hub. And I'm just going to click here, pop out of here. So the form here gives us their details in this featured spotlight form. And I'm going to go back to the form just to see if I can preview this for everybody. Where's the preview form? Okay, there we go. I'm like, okay. Okay, so the form, if you're in Monday or Asana, you can create a form like this. This was just our featured guest spotlight form, name, email, bio. This is our collection piece. What this saves you is not a lot of email back and forth, not a lot of Slack back and forth. Everything is right here. So this is how we set it up. They click the boxes, they drop in everything, preferred days, times, interview process, their tone, their essentials, their photos. This just gives us, I know it is a lot, but it gives us a really good starting point and it makes you look very serious about and professional about your podcast. So it's a really, really good idea to have this. You can send them the form. You can also upload it or attach it to your website. And I think Jess, we do have this on our website. I want to say, is it podcast guest? So now we have it on our website, and if you don't want to send them just a form and you want to attach it to your website, we've just embedded the form here so they can just fill it out here, which makes it really nice and it adds that extra layer of professionalism to your podcast. So this is a great piece. Literally, they click in and then the process starts, and they can just start going through the process. Okay, any questions on that? I'm just gonna jump into chat real quick. And okay, I see something. I just okay. So let's see. From Michael says, I help impactful women consultants build a predictable sales process on LinkedIn that work without hard pitching or burning out hours. I have seen you popped too, so I'm here to really support and also learn from you. Oh, cool, Michael. That's awesome. I help impactful women consultants build a predictable sales process on LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn's a beast of its own, isn't it? So that's awesome, and so glad you're here, and thank you for supporting us. Let us know how we can support you as well, Michael. So super grateful that you're here. So I'm just going to show you a couple other things on podcast, then we're going to move out of this. And you might learn something too, Michael, since you're scaling people over there on LinkedIn. This might help in your clientele process. But let's just jump into this. So, all right, Jess, this is so fun. We have two things in podcasting. We have something called a podcast DNA. And the podcast DNA is where Jesse and I put all of the assets for our team. So this is a place we are now in Airtable. Sorry, I did not mention that, Jess. Sometimes I move too quickly. We have now moved into Airtable. The reason I moved to Airtable is because I wanted a shareable piece where we had a lot of tabs on the top where my team could just quickly go to, especially when you're onboarding new people and they're not familiar with your process. They have everything they need, and you don't have to go back and forth in Slack and say, hey, can you send me the branding logos? Hey, can you send me the branding colors? Hey, I don't know an SOP for the long form. I don't have an SOP for the short form. What's the video description, and so on. So we have just what they call a podcast DNA. And this works actually really well. When you have your team with you for years and you make updates, you can also remind them that the updates are here. Or if you're just getting new with a brand new team, or you're bringing in new video editors or graphic design team, this is how we roll in here. So I think this is great. We have in here like our box folder, podcast logo, color palette, SOP checklist, standard operation procedure, and then some B-roll footage examples. When we're talking about covers, Jesse has done a fantastic job here showing off the do this. This is what we like when we're talking to our graphic designers. Don't do this. So if you have a graphic designer that's just working on your podcast and they're doing covers for you for long form and short form, this is a great place to direct them to is here. You can start building this out. We have our YouTube one-off designs, some Canva templates, our Spotify, and then some short covers. So it's kind of broken out into those four areas. Links, we added in case they need to go look at the links, or they're going to work on those links, or you're going to duplicate that link so you don't lose your master. That's in there. Do this. And then we have a section, don't do this. These are covers that we tried, we didn't like. They just weren't the right fit for our brand. So we moved from that. Then we have channel screenshots. Jesse keeps us updated, or you can have your project manager keep you updated on your screenshots. This usually goes inside the video when we're wrapping the podcast and we're talking about, hey, leave us a review on Spotify, review on YouTube or whatever. These are screenshots for the video editors here. Our audio SOP, this is more of a verbal and for you and your video team, or also you can use it as a checkup, like a quarterly checkup. Hey, let's go through the audio edit SOPs. Let's go for long form. Just remember when let me go back to audio. When you're training your video team or you're hiring a new podcast video editing team, it does take some training for them to understand you and your brand and how you want your look and feel to be. So it's taken us, gosh, Jesse, almost like 2 years, or maybe a good solid year and a half to train our current team. Because you can have fantastic editors, fantastic project managers, fantastic social media managers, but they really need brought up to speed on, and y'all need to grow together and be patient. Sometimes it's really easy, like to have an incredible video editor and they're really good at what they do, but they don't understand you. But maybe it's because you haven't put something together for them so they can understand what you're talking about. So take a pause for yourself and like, is it me or is it them or is it us together that need to work on it? Um, so that's just something that like nobody talks about this, by the way. All of the influencers that I follow or watch other podcasts, like nobody breaks this down. I mean, I would love to know like Mel Robbins' process in her podcast, right? We all would. Like I'd be like someone is managing all that. We don't see that. And again, a lot of this is not AI. You know, everyone's like, hey, AI can do everything. Not really. I mean, we still have to communicate. I mean, there's still the process of like directing that artificial intelligence. Like there's still the process of us humanizing that to get the result that we want. So inside the podcast DNA, we have a long form episode in here. Jesse's got things dialed in here for like hooks, music, outro music, end cards. Do this. Hey, we like this. Don't do this. We have video shorts in here. Again, this is like a verbal conversation, like what we want through the video editing process. And then YouTube and Spotify are like swipe files, basically for Jesse to copy paste into those platforms when we're doing social media, when we're actually pumping this stuff out. Okay, one more place I've got to show you is again in Airtable is our show. So here we are, we're in the show, and this is us live right now. And this is how I do it. This is literally the back end of how we set this up. We have our episode assets, our promotions in here. If we're when we're promoting episodes, we have our Spotify episodes in here, and I'll just scroll here so you can see this. Let me make this a little bit bigger so everybody can see like what the heck. And again, like you can have your social media manager, project manager update this for you, but we're trying to keep track of everything so we can go back and look at it all in one. This was something that Monday could not do for us. We could not get this result on Monday. So this kind of became a nightmare for us. But now it's not. It's a fixed process. It's scalable, and you can scale this beyond however you need to. And then we have YouTube, which is also fantastic. We can see from our season 2 everything that we've done all the way down to where we're at today. I mean, it is really helpful. Lastly, when you are editing podcasts for video, you're going to get into episode shorts. So the video shorts, right? So what do you do with the video shorts? It becomes a massive, like almost a nightmare of how to handle video shorts. And for us, we needed to, I think, Jesse, we've really dialed in this process. We've had a lot of reiterations of this, but I think between with my video editing team and Jesse and I, we have really dialed this in, and it is working fantastically. There's not a lot, and with our graphic designer too. We had a graphic designer working with us, and I say had because we're just transitioning from a graphic designer. But let me just jump into this. So we show this as a Kanban board. It doesn't have to be that way. I'll just go into all view so you can see what the heck I'm talking about. So literally, I'll close this up so it's just easier to see. So in here we have groups in the episode shorts of projects that started. Look at Jesse, we have 142 short videos. 142 short videos. That tells me that we need to be posting like 20 shorts a week. Or we're never going to get through that. That's 142 videos. We have 20 covers approved. I may have to get in there and just start scheduling shorts, with you. We have one ready to schedule and scheduled. So remember we were back on Monday and we were talking about scheduling in Monday and how that wasn't scaling for us. Now, Jesse and I she can schedule from here. And I'm going to pull this into a Kanban view because this is a lot easier, I think, for us to look at, where it's like, okay, this is the stuff that isn't started. And what I mean by Kanban is if we're going to move this down the line, there's a process up here. Process. So this is the thing to do for the graphic designer. We're talking about covers for approval, revisions, and then the covers approved. The next part of the process is the caption. So Jesse's going to prepare a caption, get it ready to schedule, and if that's approved, then it goes into ready to schedule. She'll get it scheduled, drop into scheduling. It's so much easier. It doesn't have to be a nightmare. When we were back on Monday, we were detailing all those little things, and it just became like a nightmare because we were, I think Jesse, you and I were really focused on the platforms. Like, did TikTok get this? Did YouTube get this? Did Insta? And now it's like, we already know that's on autopilot. We know that we're going to post to those platforms. So we just want everything over. Jesse, can you share just a little bit about this process, just from your side managing this?
Yeah, definitely the Kanban, like you said, makes it easy for me at least because I'm more of a visual person. So being able to see like what's ready and then moving it over, like for me, just makes the process easier versus like how you said Monday, there's like a subtask and then a subtask to that one, and comments can get lost. So yeah, I mean, it was a good experience for us to try out and see what works and what doesn't work. I think maybe Monday would be good for people who may only produce like one episode a month or something, like not as often, but for like someone who's producing more episodes, then Airtable, like the way we've done it, has really, really helped just keep everything running smooth, communication, and just the whole process.
That's great. That's great, Jess. Yeah, I think so too. So again, we can, and I think, Jesse, from your standpoint, it helps both with graphic design and scheduling, right? Because we're talking about the shorts graphic design.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because graphics could just jump in there and see what needs to get done. And then from scheduling standpoint, once it's ready, it's like it doesn't have to be moved to like another space. Like from that same space, I can just schedule it and then drag the little card to post it or publish. So definitely makes it way easier on both ends.
That's awesome. So we have a surprise for you on that one too. Let's jump into that because I want to move into social media because I know a lot of you are working in social media, but there is a place where you can actually get access into and learn more about dialing in your podcast. And that is by joining my invite to the Cadence Creator community. And we are in the school platform. I'm going to do a screen share and invite you in where you can get access to the classroom. And I'm in Cadence Creator right now. Just type in school Cadence Creator, and you will you will be. This is free right now. It's free, so join now. And there's two courses in here that you can jump into. If you're a podcaster, you can jump in and grab my podcast launchpad. If you're like, hey, I want to scale up, you can grab Podcast Mastery, and we go through all of this. So definitely jump in. Would love to see my community. It would be amazing. And there's one other place that we use the podcast details, which I'm going to pull in Jesse here in a minute. Let's jump into content now because I think that's so important. But let me just quickly check to see what other messages we have in chat before I do that. Okay, you guys are all with me. Awesome. I just feel sometimes I'm moving so quickly that I get a little hung up. So I'm going to take a sip of water. I hope you're drinking water too out there. It's hot in the world. So these are the things that I wish influencers would have showed me many years ago when they were making YouTube videos about it, and I had to go screenshot sections of their YouTube videos to actually dial in what they were doing, and then try to figure it out for myself, for my own clients, because there was a massive amount of content. So now, today, now that we have this process without all that massive amount of content, we can now like really scale. Again, whether you're in podcasting or you're just a YouTube creator or you're in social media or you're creating emails. I mean, those are like the hubs of the big content. Am I missing one, Jess? Am I missing a piece of content out there?
No, I think that's pretty much, yeah, what we're using Airtable Monday
Yeah.
previously.
So this is something, let's dive in before we get into our social media board where we manage this. We did start in Monday, by the way. We started all of our social media in Monday. And the reason we moved to specifically to Airtable was because everything you can see so easily. It was just for us, it was a way to quickly see it. And Monday wasn't able to give us that view. So that's why we moved out of Monday to Airtable. And I remember, Jesse, in Monday, we had workspaces that each workspace was like a board for all of our like content vaults. So like our polls, our quizzes, our static posts, our carousels, and it just became a place where you're going through a lot of clicks to get the view. So I'm going to start with our content vault Airtable because that is something that we are continually working on and it needs to continually be built out. But just so you know, as a content creator or a business owner, or you can share your social media, like screenshot this and be like, hey, can you create this? And let me jump in and show you that. Okay, so I'm in Airtable And this is our content vault. And we have these tabs here of the types of content that we work on. Podcast again is separate, so we know podcast is there. And then we have content goals in here. We have content direction. I'll start with that. We have content direction from influencers that we like to follow. We have content goals in here of just the tasks, what we like to hit per day, per month, or per week. We have promotions in here, our story funnel like strategy. We have again, this is a vault. If Jesse and I want to brain dump, we can dump in here rather than messing up maybe our other social media like monthly board or weekly board. So this becomes like a dumping ground. Like if you're sitting there at the chiropractic office and you want to pop open your phone and be like, oh, that would make a great post. You can pop this open and boom, type it in and you're there, or voice it in and you're there, or add an attachment and you're there. So this just becomes a place where we can really, Jesse, you and I can improve this, but I think this has been a really good start for us to start putting place in. We should probably add our signboards in here and start reposting those. Um, Carousels, quizzes, and then testimonials in here. We have a lot in here. We just hadn't had the time, honestly, to get all the content in here. But this is where it lands for Content Vault. Now let's jump into our monthly so you guys can see how we operate on a monthly with social media. And I'm just gonna pop open our Airtable. So this is our Airtable for the month of July. And I'm in the tab June. We have July 6th through 12th. We have our school content, our community content, podcast promos, and podcast shorts. Before I show you that, and I know that these are not connected, I will go to a board and show you them connected. Maybe they have been, maybe they have popped up. Okay, they probably just haven't been updated. So let me make this a little bigger. Before I get in social media, one of the things you can do is you can sync the view of your podcast or your video shorts into one Airtable so that your project manager or social media manager doesn't have to go to two different Airtables. They can make it easy. They can grab it here and they can just manage it here as well. So whatever they change here will change back on the board. So this is a synced view. So they can see everything here. And so that it doesn't have to be duplicated. So anything that happens on those other boards, it's duplicated over here as a sync. Same thing with shorts. And I'll make this a little bigger so you guys can see this. And I'm not in the Kanban view, but I could add that view. But literally, Jessie could go through here and just be like, okay. She could close up this tab and she realized, okay, these are the things that are for approval, and start going through what we need. Now, obviously, I just updated this, Jess, so don't panic. I just haven't resynced this board, but you would see like all of these are, approved and ready for the next phase. So I just want to touch on this so I didn't forget. Let's jump into the tab social media. How we roll with this is, and Jesse, I want you to talk about too, how to scale this from your side, because when we first started this, we started with a post a day and we wanted to scale to 2 or 3 posts a day, 5 posts a day, 10 posts a day. And this now has become scalable, where we have a system where we can now automate with all the different types of content that we put out. Now every week we can pretty much snapshot this and like put it into the next week, almost every week, and then just start filling it out with different content. So this becomes really repeatable. Jess, you want to talk about that for a minute from your side?
Yeah, definitely, because before it felt like we kind of had to think of ideas or like figure out what we're gonna post next. But I feel like since we've had this system, it kind of helps to kind of just toggle like the topic and then pick from there, especially now that we've built out our like B-roll with well, not B-roll, but our content bank with the podcast shorts and with the restream videos from our lives. That has also helped us to kind of have like easy go-to content. I mean, we still have to come up with captions and covers, but it's a lot easier that we have to pull from. And then having that process of the content to pull from like ideas in Airtable also just makes it easier to kind of scale. And then we're able to do multiple posts per day. And so instead of just the one, we can do 2 or 3 posts per day. And it doesn't feel like we have to like think of ideas because we kind of already have our content banks full and systems and ideas so we can just kind of pull from and just make sure obviously we're not posting like back to back of the same type of format content, but kind of just mixing it up and staying within our theme too.
That's awesome. How has it been with other clients that you're working on? Have you been able to use this process with other clients?
So they do have like their own processes and we've just kind of stuck to that. But I could definitely like use this idea for other clients that are kind of like not sure where to start and kind of just looking for like a system to use.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, just like Jesse said, we are breaking this down day by day by content type, kind of what the content is, what our action step is. Action step is usually something either I need to do or Jesse needs to do. It could be something like, hey, you need to set a trigger up in ManyChat to get this thing done, or the action step is I need a cover on this. Sometimes I might not see it in our notes comment section. So an action step here is like, hey, this has got to be done. That's why it has a little fire on it. We're assigning it to each other. And then the status here, like what's the status of this particular piece of content? And then the type of media here, and I'll make this bigger so everybody can see it. Here's the media we have in here. So like the covers and the media go in here. Um, and then, of course, you have the captions in here. If it's captions, it goes out all the way to Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads, Facebook, and their YouTube, with my YouTube channel. And then Jesse and I are having comments back and forth. And if there's a design link, we can link over to the design link number 1 or 2. That's pretty much a snapshot of how it scales. So like if I look into July, we have not yet scaled so many days yet, but we already have content that's already sitting here ready to roll. So I think from when you're looking at content scheduling and scaling, having something like this is so much different than saying, well, I have a social media planner and I have, Sprout Social, but your pre-production is way more important than putting something out on Sprout Social and then trying to have someone go through like your social media manager and go through all the drafts on Sprout Social. You can't really get a big picture. And I say that because I've used almost every social media management tool out there. Metricool, Sprout Social, you name it. I have used it. I have done it. I think right now I'm currently with Vista Social, but I think it's important to have a pre-production before you actually post. So everybody can see it and get on board. Like, is this what the right thing is to go out on these days? And also you're looking ahead when you're creating that piece of content. And then the last piece here is because we have a community, so it could be your community, we have our community content in here. So we're just creating content in here for the community and adding it in here, which is really helpful. So it's something that I find Jesse too, when we before didn't have a place for community content, but everything can be on 1 month. And that's the most important thing where I don't have to open up all these different tabs in a board and read through all these different comments. It's like all here. That's one thing I really love about Airtable. Now, if you're new to the Airtable platform, I do have to say it is a temporary storage space because every table, they do kind of like charge you by the amount of storage of content that you're putting on there. So just be aware of that. There are little hacks to get away from having to pay so much with Airtable that you can move things out of your paid workspace into other workspaces that are free so that content's not living there and you're having to be charged for all that new content. So a lot of the stuff that Jesse and I get done creating, which are massive boards of content, we just move to a free plan so that's not sitting on our paid plan. So that keeps your costs down. So just something to consider. Now, if you are someone's like, hey, I want to learn more from you guys, you can go to something that we are getting to launch. It's not available yet, but you can jump on our wait list, and it's called the Cadence to Peak Challenge, actually. Cadence to Peak Challenge, if you go to wendyj.com/waitlist, wendyj.com/wait list. You can jump into my challenge here, and Dave and I will spend 5 days with you, and we'll start teaching you some of these things. Now, we don't just only teach all of these platforms, and there's other tools that I haven't even mentioned or said anything about, but we also totally geek out on social media content systems. David is a guru in and just an expert in advertising using AI video ads. He can tell you how to really scale AI video ads. Um, and then we also talk about communication, which is not mentioned anywhere. But if you are a Pixar lover and love Pixar films, we also dive into how you can use communication and really connect with your audience, which AI can help, but not so much if you don't know how to read other people. So AI can't still read other people, the vibe, the energy, like how they're reacting, how they're moving through the world. So we also teach that, and you get to learn your own communication style, which you probably didn't even know you had a communication style. And Jessie is the first one that she and her husband and partner went through our communication program and learned a lot. So if you want to dive in, there's a 5-day challenge that you can go deeper, and then this is like the first masterclass you can get in with us, and then that goes in that kind of drops into our mini mastermind. So. We don't like to do anything that's like too crazy, too big, that lasts forever. I know a lot of people that mastermind like, hey, hang out with us for like 12 months. We just want to get you results really quickly and move on to the next thing. So you're like off and running. So everything for us is very short, streamlined. Literally our challenge is like 5 days. You get in, you like a ton of value. And if you want to go to next level, you can jump into our mastermind, which is like 60 to 90 days of just like deep dive. You get in, get what you want, get out, and then you learn. You don't, I mean, all those masterminds that like, hey, take this course. It's going to take a year. Man, we have been there. So like, I feel you. We've paid the money. You don't have time. We get it. We just want to get you massive value to get you to the next level in whatever your business is. So I don't really know what else to share. I did say that I'd have something special for you at the very beginning. Yes, that is true. So, okay, I'm going to give you three special treats actually. One, if you are interested in the podcast course and you are on this live, DM me from whatever channel you are at and just comment the word, what should the board be? Just comment the word Friday. Comment the word Friday. If you're catching this and you're with us live on this call right now, comment the word Friday and I will get you both courses at no cost. So just comment the word Friday. And I say Friday because I love Fridays, you know? And hey, 4th of July is tomorrow and, you know, it's fireworks and I want to treat you. The other two things I want to treat you to is this right here. And I think Jessie will enjoy this. We have a social media DNA. Social media DNA is very similar to our podcast DNA, but this breaks down our go-to for our graphic designer. So if you have a graphic designer that's working on your social media, you want to have a process and system for them. And this is what we cover here. So we have one for all of our Canva links. This is like shortcut to Canva. How many of you are tired of trying to find a Canva board? Oh my gosh. It's like you have like so many Canva templates out there and it's so hard to find a Canva board. So this is where we actually host our boards here. And Jessie, I know we have so many more that we need to add to this. I'm like thinking like, oh my gosh, we need to add to this. But for a shortcut for you, your project manager, your graphics team, this is a great place for them to go grab their link here. We have content goals in here. We have our Instagram DNA. Hey, do this, don't do this. Like, hey, we love this, but don't do this. We don't like this style. We have LinkedIn in here. Jessie, you've done such a great job with this. Things that we love, like this is great, this is not great. YouTube in here. Again, same thing. Do this, don't do this. So it's a little bit hard to see because they kind of look the same here, but it is split up. There's a section here that says do this, don't do this. Those are the biggest things you want to pay attention for your graphic designer so you don't have to go back and forth. Thread, same thing. Do this, don't do this. And then TikTok. Do this, don't do this. So one last thing I want to share with you. I'm going to check comments really quickly. Okay, cool. We're really good. So one last thing. There is a secret tool that we use for our video editing team and our project management with Jessie, and maybe yours too, would love it. It's not that expensive. It's what the Hollywood teams use for video editing and commenting. And I want to share it with you really quickly. It's called Frame.io. By the way, if you have found this super valuable while you've joined this live, would you leave Jessie and I a comment and let us know if you're finding value in these lives? Because this is like how we can help you scale Q3 and Q4. So if you're like, hey, I have learned one thing I've walked away and this has been valuable, please let me know because that really, really helps me. If you don't message me back, I have no idea if we actually made a dent in your life. So please let us know. Um, let's jump into frame.io very, very quickly. This is like the golden secret here on how we really scale communication with our team. We are using frame.io. I'm just going to pull it up for podcasting, just to keep it simple. And Jess, what are we working on right now that could show everybody like 58?
Yeah, I think 58 is still I think it's ready from Shoyab. I have to
Does it
look
have
at
does it have shorts yet?
not yet.
Okay, maybe I go to 56,
I think maybe 52.
52. Okay, let's go back. We'll go back 52. So in here, we have our audio in here, and we'll have our video. So our audio wave file that's approved, and then our video file. Oh, you know what? I don't have, yes, I do. Okay, so this is great. So we haven't removed these. This is great for example. So right here, you'll see a number. It says 10. That means there's 10 comments on this video that need to be resolved. So down here, you'll see these little dots. Those little dots are comments that Jesse and I have left our video team saying, hey, at this spot, there's an issue. We need this resolved, and so on. I'm telling you, game changer, game changer. Instead of saying, hey, at frame, 0.18.64, I mean, this has been a game changer. It makes it so much easier. Same thing with our shorts, our video shorts. Same thing. We can show one with comment. I know we have a bunch of stuff to remove. It's probably time for us to get on that on the schedule, Jess, to start removing content again. But we have here, right here. So we have like two comments here, like, hey, we need to get these like resolved. So what happens is once those get resolved, our video editing team can now make another version. So you can get a reversion. And then when you or your project manager go back to review this, you can look at a dual screen and go exactly back to that comment and just go back and forth. And you don't have to like watch the whole thing again. You like remembered exactly what you wrote and see if it got fixed. Jesse, tell me about this process for you.
It's easier because, like you said, we can just put the comments in there for the guys and they can go to that exact spot and make the edits. And it also, when we're doing revisions, it's easy to just do like a side by side and see, just go to that spot where the revision was to be made and way quicker instead of having to sit there and try to remember, like, where was it at? And scrubbing.
Yes.
So I definitely love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, this has been our secret tool. We use it for one-off projects, video promotions, and then of course our video editing shorts. You can use it for audio too. It doesn't have to be the visual. We haven't used it so much in audio, but we can. I think we've used it a few times. But you can go to your audio file and leave a comment. Your goal is always to get to 0 comments here and approvals. So you just want to make sure it's approved and 0 comments. And then you can also go ahead and remove older files. Again, Frame is a temporary storage solution. It's not your end all for your final asset files. It's a temporary storage solution. Always remember it like that because they charge you to keep up with, how much space you want to hold inside Frame on their servers. So just something to keep in mind. So we like to have a process of just removing old stuff that we no longer need. If Jesse and I both agree like 100% we can remove these, then we're like solid, we can remove those. And that just keeps your gigabytes down on our terabytes down here. That's it. So we're gonna wrap this 15 minutes early. We got out of it. Everyone is so busy. I want everyone to go have a great weekend. Happy 4th. I know on the repost it'll already be past the 4th, but yeah, thank you for joining us. And Michael, again, thank you for being here and all the work that you do helping impactful women build their presence and process in LinkedIn. It's amazing. I love that. I love that you're doing that. So, Jesse, any other last words here for us?
No, I think people should take advantage of your course because you have made it so much easier for people who want to scale, but they just don't know where to start.
That's great. Thank you so much. Again, please come into Cadence Creator in school, or if you want to deep dive with us on our next Cadence to Peak Challenge, go to wendyj.com/waitlist to get in. So that way I can send you and have you be the first on the list to get access to the next challenge, and it will be coming up. I'm already working on dates here for the next one, and we would love to see you there. So that's it. Have an amazing rest of your week. Jesse, you look beautiful. Have an amazing rest of your week. And yay! We'll see you guys all later.